Unnecessary drawers. Early en route to board the train, people saw there were pigeons and doves perched on the barricades and ledges of the train station. Peat smoke burned from invisible Buddha chimneys around which squirrels warmed their paws on the Worcester roofs. That morning, the four-winged ox of St. Luke, an evangelist who preferred the number 4, appeared flying with iridescent rainbow wings to remind people they are learning. The universe had been moving toward a new idea of civilization using the mind, for ideas of Sigmund Freud that had suggested anxiety was rooted in desire and unresolved childhood trauma were beginning to be recognized by more educated people as having been weaponized by the corporations to sell to the insecurities of the masses in the 20th century and even now. Sure, it had been mind over matter and one over one since ancient Egypt times when people revered the human form. Ads now did not pay as much respect. And there were young, naive, innocent, and precious lives, even ones who walked quickly by like they were scared they missed the train. The succumbing to drugs and too many vices made the good, revealing images, the few spare ones on the platform, unholy. To a blary-eyed pot smoker, Mary iconography appeared like Bloody Mary, an urban legend who is said to appear in the bathroom when one vainly says her name 5 times. As if, while walking to the train, the icon of Mary in a shell was seen by the blary-eyed tired boy, like she had snake scales for skin, an odd fusion of feminine Bible principles and Greek mythos that isn't as helpful as a chaste human Mary. People had forgotten that reverent images, even if they did not agree, were revered, a different subject than the psych used to sell, say, cigarettes. They were meant to help. Sacred. Holy work. 10 people walked to the train at one length of the platform of Union Station. 2 philosophers were studying clay sculptures they had made by the tracks in their hands. One man had sculpted an absent university pal they both had met. The eyes were spot on. They imagined what he would say if he were there, flat white. Commuters boarded the train to go to work in Boston. Nomads walked on the platform too, but were unsure of what stop they would get off between the origin and terminus as they ventured from their homes to explore on the train. There was a toilet paper mummy sitting by nips on a dirt slope by the chain-link fence. This monster was not taken in by the commotion and whisperers behind its head, so people reasoned the mummy was not alive, but it was sensitive and strong, too. There was a ghost juggling, too. And a little pussy ghost at the feet of the girl who was just about to be on time would turn left, dart across the street, and prowl up a hill. When passengers had boarded the 11 o'clock train, a gang of street urchins appeared, sensitive and strong, too, employed with daily life and watching people of all livelihoods, keeping tabs on inexplicable things that came from their point of view, weights of gratitude, carrots that drove people, as in human conditioning. They kept goon rules. Only leaders knew them well. They walked to an enormous wooden dresser that was past the exit ramp from 290, up a dirt hill and parallel to the platform. The urchins unloaded all they confiscated from hard-working but misguided men that they had stored in this dresser. There were drawers full of stolen obstacles, loads, blocking, earning, and butts, and out-of-whack proofs like life's good but must not be for them. And in one drawer, there was merely the itching from palms that were unsatisfied, In the top drawer, there was smoldering deer meat from last night's squirrel hunt that Kara wanted nothing to do with, having been contented earlier with a bowl from the soup kitchen. There were written maps with weather for the future in a green drawer. At the foot of the dresser was a box with clean eyes, and out of it stepped wispy shades who wanted Burger King. The urchins would perform the walk for paper crowns after they checked the drawers, for they needed to organize the words, feelings, and blessings. They stood around the dresser for 25 units after a good teacher left en route to Westboro. There were good drawers for good daydreams, thinking of vegetation, oxidation, and respiration, coming from prayers from the Ments. Would you deny it if I told you some of the ones you see walking around aimlessly end up being very important for rehabilitating people who don't belong doing what they are doing for a couple years? The sensitive street folk chatted, sensing, making up scripture, rhymes, and forms, confirming logos. For all the sick junk that was making people stressed, they left this in a new small velvet box in the top left drawer in a sock. By night, after a day, the helpers returned and emptied and cleaned the dresser. It disappeared and reappeared. For holding all that resentment would not do for a brand new day like the one that they are promised tomorrow. There were stomachs filled with sons who were learning to cool global warming by acknowledging what they thought of the world. More aware, they could at least control what they emitted.